But it's not. It's
per user or just per account?
It's $8.95 per month for up to 2 users.
Okay.
And I think you can have.
Time's worth a lot more than that.
Yeah, I think it's 50 accounts that you can have at the first level. Then you can keep adding more and more and more. So if you're a professional, do this. The pro version is well worth the money, mainly because you can handle more accounts. Here's something that's sort of neat about Hootsuite. You don't actually even have to take the URL that you're putting in the post and stick it in a short. It'll automatically shorten it for you if it needs to.
Nice.
Yeah, so it'll automatically shorten it if it needs to. There's a little plugin that you can use in Chrome and in Firefox and in a couple of the other browsers called Hootsuite. And this little plugin, when you stick it in your, say, Chrome, which is a browser, if you're looking at an article, you can just click that button, and it'll make a post for you, right then and there. And then you can just pick which accounts it goes to, press a button, and it goes out to those accounts.
It ties directly to your Hootsuite account.
It ties directly to your Hootsuite account.
That's a good one.
And if you have pre-designated, so if you're really managing your own stuff, you can pre-designate what accounts you want it to go to, what groups you want it to go to, and so on. So they're already done. So literally, to do a post, it would be click, click, done. It'd be that fast if you wanted. If you didn't want to curate it, because it actually writes a curation for you. But if you didn't want to customize it, you could do click, click, done your own way. So
that's a great time saver. Anybody else using any special tools in social media in the group? Beth, you use one.
Well, I mentioned Canva before. Also, PicMonkey to edit pictures and add text to pictures. PicMonkey, and there's a great version. PicMonkey.
PIC Monkey?
PIC Monkey. And also for Pinterest, I use Pinstomatic. So if I have a quote and I want to put it, like, I can make it look like a little yellow sticky note. And I can, because you know how on Pinterest you're always sharing everybody your pin and other people's stuff. Well, create your own thing so people can pin that and be sure that it's got a website, something to designate that belongs to you, so if it gets shared around and repinned. But if you had a quote or something like that, so that's good. And also, if, are y'all talking about?
Sticky notes.
I can get sticky notes out of, package them like this.
TJ social media. Do that, take a picture, send it out here.
We're going to drag 32065 into the 21st century. And this is not a management tool, but it's an app that I use on Facebook. It's called 22 Social. And there's so much that you can do with that. I'm trying to think of an example that, okay, real estate, because John's sitting right here and he's in real estate. You could use this app. It's free for one app. And you could put the house that you've got listed that you're really working on this week, you could create an app just around that house. With the pictures, you can do slideshow, you can do video, you can do a call to action button, and you can send those people, I mean, you can put it out there, and it's really cool. I can do a Google Hangout from my Facebook page using 22 Social, and people never have to leave Facebook. I can do all kinds of stuff. If you want more information about that, let me know, and I can get some information to you.
If you want to find tools, you just do social media tools and Google.
I use Google Alerts a lot. We have a hospital, a pretty big hospital like in New York that I manage their site. And so I have some alerts set up for different programs that they have. So if anything is mentioned in Google, I'll get an alert, and it's something that I can possibly use for information. And I also use Pocket. There's a lot of, like, whenever I'm searching the web or on Facebook or Twitter, I always come up, find articles that I want to read later. I don't always have the time right then, so I have this little app on Chrome and on my phone. It's called Pocket, P-O-C-K-E-T, and you can just copy the link and you can save it in your Pocket, and you can tag it with different tags, if it's social media, if it's gardening, if it's healthcare, whatever it is, so I can go back to that and read my articles whenever I have free time.
There's a couple that I use a lot. One's called Email It. So if you're on a page, you just click Email It, and then put the link in the email, and you can send it to whoever you want. I usually send it to myself. I use Pocket also. A simple thing you could do is subscribe to a lot of magazines. So when they come out with new stuff, and when the email comes in, you can just filter it and put it in a folder. So you don't have to look at it every day. You just use it when you're going to go do different kinds of posts.
can be kind of overwhelming if you're just starting out. So pick one or two things that we talked about and focus on that. You know, you don't have to do everything that we've talked about today or tomorrow. Just pick one or two things and research it, and then, you know, go from there. Start small.
Beth mentioned something, the term was call to action. This is especially true on YouTube videos and other things. Tell them to sell them at the very end. Click here to get that free report on wedding planning. Click here to get more information on, here's the 5 tips. If you want to see the other 5 tips, do that. You got to tell them to sell them. Do a call to action on your stuff. People need to be told what to do.
If you look at the end of our blogs, they always have a call to action. They'll say something like, if you like this, you can just type in social media in the search box and find more. We recommend, and it recommends actual articles to read. And it says, if you like this article, fill in the form below and we'll send you a free ebook. So the call to action is the way to build that list. But it also gives you another shot at it. So you might have some current thing going on. But what we try to do is we don't try to sell anybody immediately. When they fill out, they get the free book, they won't hear again from us for probably about a week or two. The next time they hear from us, we're not selling them anything. We're selling them the newsletter. You know, we might send them the newsletter a couple of times, and then eventually we're going to come in and give them some kind of other offer. But it's always going to be a slow sale. We don't try and jump on them, because that's what they're expecting. Think about it. If you've ever filled out a form on the web, what's the next thing that happens? Like
You get hammered.
yeah, form hell or whatever you want to go on, where people are just trying to get you, you know, and that's what you never want to appear like that. That's what you want to avoid. So.
But building the list, and I say this out loud because I need to hear it myself, because I need to work on it constantly. That's what I say about building the list is so important. If my store got, you know, went away, you know, hurricane or tornado, whatever, I can get another building, I can get some more samples, but where are my customers going to go? If I have a move or something, your business is your list. It's the list of people that have your previous customers, your potential customers. Your potential customers are people that are on Facebook or Twitter, the people you haven't met. The list, that's your business. That's what I'm
Yes, they just started doing that. It's a great tip. You can add your call to action button right on your posts now. That's something relatively new.
Yeah, they've made like 10 changes to Facebook this year.
on your business page.
I'm sure all the web people in the room will agree to this. We've been telling our customers to use call to actions for 15 years, and I can assure you 90% of your customers do not use them, so you can easily leapfrog them right away just by telling them the call to action that they need to do. And Hector's follow-up I did to the ebook in 2 weeks is great, because if you like this ebook, you might want to sign up for our newsletter, because we go even deeper on this topic. So be the giver. You can't outgive God or the universe or everyone look at it. You be the biggest giver in your market, you will win. Hallelujah!
Amen.
Thank you all. Anybody have any final questions for this lovely group of panelists?
I'll give you one last hint that I think that a lot of people ignore. There's a general topic called groups, and if you're a member of Facebook, Google+, LinkedIn, Twitter not so much, but these groups are invaluable, especially if you're brand new. So if you're a brand new member and you're in LinkedIn and you're connected to 50 people or whatever, if you wanted to get connected to a couple 100,000 people, join a few groups. Because you're actually connected to everybody in that group, and you can communicate directly with anybody in that group. And it's a great way to build a large connected network without actually having gone through all the trouble of building the network. Now, it's not a direct substitute for having all those direct connections, but it is very powerful. And when you're using blogging or some other platform to get your message out on a regular basis, these groups can be a huge asset for you. So join groups. You're going to have to experiment, see which ones you like. They all have their own different rules. They have their own agendas. But if you go through them and experiment with them, you'll find that they're tremendous assets for you.
But don't just be a lurker, actually engage.
Yeah, add value to the groups.
Yeah.
And the other thing, you could start your own group. I'm going to use Joyce for an example. She's district manager with Avon. She could have a group on Facebook with all of her Avon reps. And that's how she disseminates information to them. They encourage
make a group so that only you let people in. So if you're the moderator, you can set it up so it's your own personal group and they can't get in unless you say they can get in. But you can
Right.
also make it a public group where anybody can get in. You make it where there's no rules, you can make it where there's all kinds of rules. And depending on which platform you're in, like in LinkedIn, which is one I use the most, they can set up rules where the moderator can cut you off if you're posting too often or you're being too aggressive or whatever. Or they can make a separate area where all promotional stuff has to go over here. You know, that kind of thing. So it's a very powerful setup that you can use.
I have a question. I have that group that Beth's talking about, but how do I invite people to join? Do I have to go in individually and invite them with their email address?
You can invite anybody in your contact list in LinkedIn or on Facebook.
But
On Facebook, you just go over on the right.
Yeah, it says invite.
Yeah, or you can just add people to the group, like, if you're already friends with them,
Oh, you have to be friends with them first. Oh,
Or
I
you
don't
can
want
do
to
it by
be my
email.
friend.
That doesn't sound like you.
So if they're a friend, can I delete them from my main page, but keep them on as a member of our group?
Yeah.
Just change their status and make them as not so friendly or something. Make a new category where, in other words, you have family, friends, but you can make other categories and you stick them in that category as an associate.
On the local channel. I don't know if you're unfriended, if you can still have them in your group.
Yeah, see, they're asking to be my friend, and I said, no, I wanted you to join our page, I don't want you to join my Facebook.
Well, just email them the invitation to the group and don't friend them.
Just email them. I need to do each individual, because I got 400.
You can just copy the link, Joyce,
Uh-huh.
on top, and email it, put it in an email,
Uh-huh.
and then email it to them, and then they can request to join.
Really? That link up at the top there in the line? Okay. There we go. Thank you.
Summer, did we hand out the invites, or are they just in the back room for the
You're in that
nonprofit?
room right now.
As an FYI, here's your commercial. It's what you get for paying $5. On March 26th, there's a nonprofit appreciation event that's going to be held at the Hilltop from 5 to 7 p.m. It's available to profits and nonprofits alike. No charge whatsoever for either side of the coin, but it's our way, finally Friday